Right. Yeah. Yeah. Good day, good life, good world to you all out there, man. We are still, well, I won't speak for my counterpart here, but I am still in the upbeat spirit. It's not necessarily SummerSlam hangover, but I am just excited to talk about wrestling, to continue talking about wrestling like nobody else in the world. And when you hear my voice along with another voice coming right after me, you know you're about to get in tune with the first Black Champ podcast. And from now moving forward, I am officially the podcast intercontinental champion. Camp from
he got his IC belt. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm JR Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you get your favorite podcast. And yes, I am not only excited about where we are in wrestling. Before let me rate, like, subscribe, download.
Yeah.
Get your merch. Shouts out to the belt. I wish you and follow us on social.
Yes.
I have to just get this out the way because I had the funniest conversation probably in my wrestling history Friday night after SmackDown around the time of Rampage, right?
Okay.
So, we've talked about it before. We've had Boogie on the show before, but Boogie, and shouts out to the St. Louis Brickhead crew.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross, which we will talk about a little bit later, actually in a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He debuts and all of that stuff. And considering where Raw is going to be at on Monday, something that you already know, if this happens, you're gonna boo. So I already know this. But I put in the text group that a couple of people from the WWE that is signed with AEW is probably looking at things a little bit differently. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But it was me, and I don't even know who this person is.
Okay.
Because, their number's not saved in my phone. No,
they are
not saved in my phone. No, it's just not saved in my phone. Boogie. Shouts out to Boogie. Shouts out to Ronnie Notch. Shouts out to A+.
Pluses in there.
Yeah, those are the ones that saved in the phone. Everybody else, I just be trying to figure it out. Like, what's up, y'all? Even though I know y'all by face and name, I just don't know y'all by number. So it's no different because we all Brick Cave crew. But the funniest thing was said as we were talking about how Triple H guys are probably looking at things differently right now.
Facts.
So just to fast forward to the debate, my man said, who shall remain nameless because I don't know the name, said that the Impact Wrestling World Championship is more prestigious right now, is more prestigious than the NXT title.
Wow. Man.
The same belt, and said that Moose is a bigger wrestler than Keith Lee.
What? Okay. So I'm going to call that Black wrestling support on a whole new level. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm not going to disrespect this brother, whoever this is.
Hey, Keith Lee doesn't want to be looked at as a black. Not Keith Lee. Excuse me. Moose don't even want to be seen as a black wrestler.
Right, and I remember that being highlighted after he had the belt, and I'm like, oh, okay. So you want to be acknowledged, if you will, supported, if you will, but you don't want to create the separation of the milestone that's happening in your life. And that's fine. I'm not here to make you. I listen. I look when people do things like that, you automatically go in that Tiger Woods category, and you can never be black again to me. That's like you can never be acknowledged as black again to me. I know what your birth certificate says. I'm not going to call you anything other than, but you just like, okay, hey, well, you just not black, my brother. You just a human. Like, what's up, human? Yeah. Glad to meet you. You know what I'm saying? Right. All wrestlers matter face that shut the Ross.
And what the funniest thing is just I like all wrestling. Everybody that knows me know that I like all wrestling. after we finished the podcast yesterday, I went and watched When Worlds Collide just because I talked about it enough. And shouts out to the people that was like, yo, Logan Paul and Dominic Mysterio do look like, Eddie Guerrero and Art Bar. That shit might work. But I also know enough to know that NXT, more people have seen the NXT championship in the last 3 years than the Impact title.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think people even know who's the Impact champion. Nah. Unless you really, really, really love wrestling.
Yeah. I think, because the average wrestling fan, I would say, is not paying attention actively to 3 federations at the same level at the same time. It's not saying that you don't know wrestling, so please don't get me confused by saying that. I'm just saying that, hey, when it was WWF at the time and WCW, I didn't really check for the resurgence of NWA, AWA. I didn't really check for ECW at that same magnitude. There were just some other things I just didn't do. WCW and WWF at the time were occupying most of my listener, viewer, just fandom. So
right.
I get it. Hey, he need to talk to Jim Cornette about the Impact title.
Man, look, me and Ronnie, and shouts out to Ronnie, we was both like, wait a minute, what? And we're gonna talk about if these wrestlers are feeling remorse, so to speak, now that Triple H is in charge. And we're gonna kick it off with the show with an old face returns to SmackDown. And then I thought about it. When I said old face, I thought about it. I said, no, because when this person first debuted, they looked like the Gladiator with BDSM mask. So I won't even say an old face debuted on SmackDown. A new face from a former place debuted on SmackDown, shockingly as well. And probably one of the bigger spots nowadays where you can debut. Karrion Kross debuted on SmackDown, the end of SmackDown. Drew McIntyre was going to confront Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. The Bloodline and Roman Reigns was going to discuss the upcoming title shot at Clash at the whatever, the Europe Insurrection.
You know what I'm saying? Or Castlevania 2022 as well.
There you go. Castlevania 2022, Insurrection 2022, the European pay-per-view. All right. But Drew McIntyre comes down, he gets to talking, and music plays. And I'm familiar with said music. So when the music plays, I say, oh shit. Whoa. And then you see Scarlett Bordeaux down in the back. And then Karrion Kross debuts by beating the shit out of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, man.
He bludgeoned the man, so to speak. Yeah. He grabbed the man by the head and rammed it a couple of times into the steel steps.
Which, man, real quick, props to him. That is the debut to the main roster he deserved. Not jobbing out to motherfucking Jeff Hardy, no disrespect.
Yeah.
But this is the way he was supposed to come in, what, a year ago now?
About a year and a half? Yeah. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, continue your thoughts on that, because now this is wrestler number 2 that was released from the WWE. That's now back in a prime spot. Like not a vignette. Right. Guess who's returning to the WWE? No. Yeah. We saw Dakota Kai at SummerSlam debut with Bayley, and then on Monday even have a stronger debut. Yeah. With basically beating people's ass. They was on their NWO after they was on their NWO July 14th.
Yeah.
Because if you look if you look at the dates, it was the debut of the NWO, and then they talked about it on the 8th, and then actually the 15th. Then that's when you see Rey Mysterio get thrown into the TV trailer. And Hulk Hogan spray painting nigger,
dark,
right? or spray painting. Looked like he's about to spray paint, nigga, but he stayed spray painting. Like
W.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts about Karrion Kross not only debuting, but debuting in such a prime spot?
I think it is what we originally thought we were getting, and confirmation that, hey, creative is going to start making more sense to the people that truly follow NXT moving forward.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to keep calling back to it just because people like love CM Punk. And I'm not saying I don't love CM Punk, because I think he's a great guy. But, that was work. It's not a shoot. Be it the pipe bomb. Triple H has proven that he can create the hottest commodity in wrestling if you just give him free range to do so. And we can't deny NXT from, I'll say for sure, 2015 to 2019. We can't deny that period of time. Maybe 18 to keep it like scorching hot, but we can't deny what he implemented, because a lot of those men and women from that period have now gone on to dominate or just be in high regard everywhere, though. Like everywhere, whether it's Japan, whether it's AEW, still in NXT, Raw, SmackDown. Like, he hasn't truly made a mistake when it comes to building that roster. And I think it's only right that NXT shattered the glass of becoming developmental to being the legit third option, and to have those men and women move up or move across and still keep their firepower, still keep their notoriety. I think that is that's the allure that we don't really pay attention to, because nowadays, especially, you do kind of got to be popping somewhere else for people to definitely feel that you're over, unless your character just needs a total revamp. Like, you don't have too many people that have the Elias story where it's like, hey, what I did over here wasn't really working, but they 180'd me and we off to the races. You don't have that many because like Sasha Banks was Sasha Banks, Charlotte was Charlotte. Becky had a little rough transition and she finally figured it out. But people still love Becky Lynch no matter what. And I think this is just a testament to that. People were like literally damn near on suicide watch when Karrion Kross debuted on Raw and lost to Jeff Hardy in like 46 seconds. Like, they're like, yo, man, you're not supposed to do this with him. No, he lost.
And you had him looking like a gladiator.
Yeah, he should be beating Drew McIntyre for the belt. See where we are.
Yeah.
So I think this is just what is supposed to happen. I think, not to be religious talking about wrestling, but this is divine order. Karrion Kross was one of the hottest guys that wasn't at the top tier, but people felt he should be there. I remember before I actually watched one of his full matches when he was first debuting, you were like, he has a world title entrance already, and he in NXT. And I said, oh, let me check homie out. So as soon as that show ended later that week, I was like, oh no, yeah, he shouldn't even be here doing this. So I think it's just, hey, obviously kayfabe still exists, right? However, Triple H has officially been like, look, I know y'all savvier than the wrestling fan 20, 30 years ago. I'm not here to fucking play with y'all. This is what it is. Let's go.
So admittedly, I'm a fan of entrance, not wrestling, right? Yeah, I like Karrion Kross entrance. Like I said, it's a world title entrance right now.
Yeah.
And even him popping up on SmackDown and the music and the theme and Scarlett being in the back and all of that. World championship thing. Mm-hmm. In the ring, he's what Vince loves. a big guy that just beats your ass. He looks the part. It's just that Vince messed up by trying to make him look like Russell Crowe. You know, at the end of at the turn of the century, you know, he tried to make him look like Gladiator. That was stupid.
Yeah, that wasn't a good idea at all.
You know, especially with, again, the interest in the music that he got. What I would say is simply this. I will go further than what you said with Triple H saying that, you know, we're not going to be stupid here. I think that Triple H is just saying, this is my era, and that's what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is my era. This is my way of changing the business, not just changing the WWE, changing the business. Because part of the debate that I had on Friday was, you know, was AEW. And again, before somebody try to jump on me and be like, oh, he's shitting on AEW, I'm a fan, especially now, of AEW. I tweeted out the other day that Ricky Starks, Kent, and we didn't say this last week really, but Kent from the Port is 100% right about Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks is a star. Here's the difference between WWE, AEW, everybody else, right? Here's the difference. And it's not the shit on anything else. 2 million people watches Raw weekly, or almost 2. Let's say 1.8. 2.2 million people regularly watch SmackDown. Between 5 to 800,000 watch NXT, depending on what's going on. I'll get to that in a second. AEW hits 1 million from time to time on Dynamite. And the ratings for Rampage, we don't want to talk about. The big fish is the WWE. So if I'm Karrion Kross, who played this smart, he didn't sign with any company, he didn't pop up with AEW, he went to MLW and stayed in the independents. He basically treaded water. And once Triple H got in power, he literally went from the indies and MLW to a main event spot. And who are we talking about? We're starting the show off with Karrion Kross. We're not starting the show off with Claudio Castagnoli having a great match on Battle of the Belts on Saturday. We're not talking about Ricky Starks, who, again, he's a star. We need to talk about him more.
Absolutely.
We're not talking about them, though. We're not talking about Impact Wrestling. We're not talking about MLW. We're talking about WWE. Karrion Kross trended heavily for a couple of reasons. Damn, they shouldn't have brought his ass back. Triple H was tweaking. Oh, this is how he was supposed to debut in the first place.
Yep.
And we talked about that more than probably the best wrestling match of the week. It's the spot you're in, not the match. It's not about the star. It's about the spot. Will Karrion Kross win the championship? Not as long as Roman Reigns got them both. And there's rumors that saying that they're going to split that championship very, very soon, which will be great.
Yeah.
But if you do that, if the rumors are true and they're going to take one of those belts off of Roman Reigns because USA wants a champion in the prime spot, you now have Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, who we said that was over as shit, and Karrion Kross, who just got put in a prime spot on the biggest show right now. At least 3 people you can look at, and I didn't even name Seth Rollins or Riddle yet.
Yeah.
You have contenders that now, as I talked about last week, I felt that none of these guys needed a belt because they don't have a world championship. Now you have feuds that you have put feelers out to see what's up. Because Drew McIntyre is not beating Roman Reigns in England. But Drew McIntyre, especially not now, but Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross looks great. Or what I've been saying should happen or could happen, whereas they only defend one belt. Drew McIntyre surprisingly defeats Roman Reigns for that one belt. Roman Reigns still has a title. Drew McIntyre brings it and takes it over to Raw. One or the other.
Yeah.
But now Karrion Kross is in a prime spot and having a potential feud with Drew McIntyre instead of having the feud with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Which leads me to some of the other wrestlers who are no longer with the WWE, some of which unsigned, some of which is probably looking like, God damn, why they ain't talking about this shit quicker. Yeah. Now, you hate this guy. One of our shirts is really made, two of our shirts are really made for this guy. But Raw on Monday, August 9th? What's today? Today is 8th, the 8th. So yeah, today is the 8th. Well, 7th. So tomorrow's the 8th.
Yeah, for sure.
On Raw, August 8th, it is in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, man.
Who's a Triple H guy? Through and through?
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano.
Fucking wrestling.
Now, here's even I'll say a guaranteed hope.
No, this is just one-sided for sure.
No. Oh, this is not involved. Well, it's involving Johnny, but it's more involving Ciampa because Ciampa is going to wrestle Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. And as we saw on Monday, they did a great job. Finally, it's like people been listening to Bang going, maybe I've been the Triple H guy this whole time. They put the title in a prime spot, had a tournament to find out who the number one contender, had a dope ass vignette. And then at the end of the night, Ciampa defeats AJ Styles to become the number one contender for the United States Championship. Now, Bobby versus Ciampa, that's definitely David versus Goliath.
For sure.
But here's a guaranteed hope, even though I know y'all hate Johnny Wrestling. Johnny Wrestling and The Miz should help Ciampa defeat Bobby Lashley to become the United States champion. If this is truly going to be a Triple H era, Ciampa has to have a belt. Not because it's Ciampa, but that would be, to me, the first real signal. This is the Triple H era. Not that he's not a fan of Bobby Lashley, but if Triple H listened to what we listened to and what we saw at the last two pay-per-views, and then if you go back to WrestleMania, the first match of WrestleMania in Tampa, Bobby Lashley is over and he don't need that belt. Put it on somebody who not only needs that belt, the belt makes the man, then eventually he will make the belt, and that's Ciampa with The Miz and Johnny Wrestling on the side. The Miz puts over Johnny Wrestling and Ciampa, and we get the debut that I think everybody is expecting and has been expecting since Triple H has been in power. They've been waiting for this man and his wife and the baby to pop up. And I don't think there's no better way for Johnny Wrestling to debut than helping Ciampa, his homie, win the United States Championship. And I think that would really signal this is a new era, because this will be the first title change in the Triple H era. And Ciampa is clearly a Triple H guy to the point where Ciampa could have, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. When you listen to this podcast, you say, Bang, I think your timing is off. But Ciampa could have left. Let's look at the NXT 2.0 change from black and gold to 2.0.
Yeah.
Johnny Wrestling didn't renew his contract, but he didn't sign anywhere. Adam Cole let his contract end. He took a couple of weeks off. He ended up in AEW. Kyle O'Reilly did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
People was thinking that Kevin Owens was going to do the same exact thing, but he
Yeah.
re-signed.
Mm-hmm.
Ciampa is the last of the NXT 2.0 people. And that was people, including me, that was wondering if Ciampa would get released or if he would leave.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up on the main roster, treaded water for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Then with Triple H getting the power, he got new gear. He got new wrestling draws, and he got a new jacket. And he gives an amazing promo.
Mm-hmm.
That was a digital exclusive, putting over the Miz.
Yeah.
This is all right here now. It's all doing Triple H time.
Mm-hmm.
He is a person that will shine in this era. So yeah, Johnny Wrestler, man, help that man win on Monday.
Yeah, you know what? You finally gave an angle for Johnny fucking wrestling that I actually like and respect. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's fuck dude to the casket drop. I'm not afraid to say it out loud in public. He won't do shit to me. But I do enjoy that. I will say in the Triple H run, and this is kind of my guarantee for this week. We'll just get out there early because we're talking about old NXT into NXT 2.0. I'm expecting Butch to go back to Pete Dunne. Like I'm just expecting that because Butch is literally like Spike Dudley-esque. And that is such a Vince McMahon idea. Not ECW Spike. I'm talking about
WWE.
Spike. Right, WWE Spike.
Right. He's like Scrappy Doo to me.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Let me at him.
Right. So I'm expecting the guys the men and women that were in high regard in NXT to go back into form to make some more formidable opponents. Like because Pete Dunne and Ricochet should be a thing on SmackDown. It should be not fucking him and Baron Corbin. You know what I mean? There's a lot of changes that I'm expecting to take shape for character as well as the people that helped put those building blocks and add some interior design in the paint in the house that is NXT before it was 2.0. And I'm expecting them to get their due now since Triple H is controlling creative.
And I think the name is going to stay. Let me just say this. I think the name is going to stay for IP reasons.
Yeah.
For IP reasons. I think people forget that. People forget like names change for IP reasons. Mm-hmm. Finn Balor was not Finn Balor until he came to the WWE.
Right.
No, Kevin Owens wasn't Kevin Owens until Kevin Owens came to the WWE. Sami Zayn as well.
Right.
Now, and let me put you over again. This is Bang putting over Camp from the Port again, part 2. Everything you said about the wrestler and their character is about to be put to the test as well. Because I'll say this. I like Butch. The character. Mm-hmm. He still wrestles the same. Mm-hmm. He's entertaining. It's the only thing that's different is the clothes that he wears.
Yeah.
I don't think Pete Dunne is more than Butch on the WWE. He's not going to be the WWE champion and hold that joint for as long as he did in NXT UK. That's not going to happen. Yeah. So that's another reason why it's like for people like Pete Dunne / Bush, I don't mind it because I don't think he's going to ascend to that level. Mm-hmm. Everybody can't be a world champion. So let's pause that there. With that being said, though, Pete Dunne Butch in England is lit.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah. And plus there, he can look like the extra in the Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney say video, and nobody's really going to be like, you out of place. It's like, but no, you look like you was giving out the Carney drinks.
Right.
And the motherfucker say.
Like like Benny Hill. Benny Hill, but now you have no excuses, wrestlers. Like in this Triple H era, you have no excuses, Jack, because everything that everybody's been saying about Vince doing this to do that, You have no excuses because Vince is no longer there. If Pete Dunne wears the onesie again and the mouthpiece and doing all of that stuff, and he's not over, that's a Pete Dunne fault. Yeah. That ain't a Triple H or Vince McMahon fault now. Thanks. Because again, Karrion Kross ass came in and made us not only forget about the BDSM joint, he got hair now. He looked like Edge low-key when he started attacking Drew McIntyre. Yeah. I think there was a lot of people that was looking at the screens like, damn, Edge on 2 shows? Like,
right, beating up everybody.
Beating up everybody. There's going to be no excuses now, Jack. Now you got to perform. And you got to perform to the expectation. What's wild about it is you got to perform to the expectations that we saw in the black and gold era.
Yeah, man.
And if we know the black and gold era, there was a lot of 5-star matches in that joint. A lot of 5-star matches and 4.5-star matches and classic moments. That's what you're getting compared to now.
Yeah.
That's a high standard. To the point where NXT TakeOver was the best pay-per-view of the weekend on a lot of weekends. You got to perform to that level. And if you ain't performing on that level with the tools that Triple H is giving you, you got to go. That is simple as that. Because I'm going to give you an example real quick before I turn it over to the next segment.
Okay.
Io Shirai turned into Io Scott. Io Shirai goes on Raw along with Dakota Kai and Bayley, and they beat Becky Lynch after she says that she's going to be gone for a little bit because of her show. Right? And then somebody else got their ass whooped. I can't remember, but that's not even the case. Io Shirai says, hey, I want to wrestle Bianca Belair. She wrestles Bianca Belair in the prime spot. Guess who inches ranged off the best that night? Guess who already had one of the best entrances in the WWE was now shown on Raw, the big stage, with a different name.
Yeah.
Io Scott.
Yeah.
And the match that she had with Bianca Belair was great. She's not going to fall off, Jack.
Yeah.
I want to see how Dakota Kai looks on this main roster. And there's a couple of other people. I want to see Elias back to Elias. I want the hair to grow back and be like, yo, I was tweaking. It was me. I don't want Zeke, the freak or whatever dude is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people. Now we look at the main roster and we look at Triple H and we look at the black and gold era and we go, hey, there's a couple of people that's going to shine. And we're going to get to shining and the fall off in a little bit. But now let's have a little bit of fun, Kemp.
Okay.
This is where we make the AEW people mad at us. Most notably mad at me, because I think this is an interesting conversation to have.
All right.
We have a number of Triple H people that left the company, not necessarily released. Some were not.
Yeah.
But they were all Triple H guys, and they're no longer with the company. Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Malachi Black, to name a few. Right? And they all signed deals with AEW. Reportedly, Malachi Black has signed a deal till 2025, and Keith Lee till at least 2025. I heard 2027. They've signed long-term deals with the company. Somebody like Swerve Scott, who, according to reports, was definitely not only a Triple H guy, Triple H gave Hit Row carte blanche to do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's true.
Because y'all know it. I don't.
Right.
These guys are now at AEW. Now, let's be real. The ratings and the look at AEW are not like the WWE.
Right.
So, in your opinion, are some of the wrestlers that signed with AEW after either leaving or getting released from the WWE in the Vince McMahon era, looking at the Triple H era so far and saying, damn, I wish I was there?
Absolutely. That takes no time at all. Absolutely. Because, see, the thing is, although wrestlers operate in like a independent contractor capacity, right? Everybody knows now, though, for sure that everybody in AEW tells the owner what they're going to do, and that's that. Whereas, at least even in NXT, with a situation like Hit Row, they'll say, hey, we'll put you all together. You can do X, Y, and Z, but you fill in the blanks. But there's still some structure there. And I don't know if that has changed much in AEW or if just the matches are getting better just due to chemistry. But there is still a storytelling element that is positive for marketing, that is positive for house shows, positive for TV, positive for pay-per-views that AEW is just lacking in right now. And a lot of people come from that system. You can never forget, 5-star matches were a thing in this in the NXT space, but they were also getting the blueprint of character development and sports entertaining. That even though it looked a little scaled down and it looked like it wouldn't that, so to speak, the NXT Black and Gold era was still an era of, hey, we're preparing you to be somewhere on the card in WrestleMania one day. Like, that's why you're here. You're not here to just be like, hey, this is NXT, and as long as I'm wrestling on Friday, we decent. It's like, nah, because more people want to wrestle. So, fam, like, more people want to wrestle, more people are going to get old, more people are going to get their money in dip, more people are going to have discrepancies, more people are going to die. And we don't wish that on anybody, but it's just a thing. So
he say more people gonna be injured, more people gonna die.
Yeah, more people gonna die. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna happen. So you need to be ready, next man or woman up, to take on those spots. And they're absent that. And although I'm sure everybody that left and went to AEW believes in their ability and they believe in their aspirations to be the world champion, that they can lead a company, they know that, they got traded from the Golden State Warriors to the Orlando Magic, and it ain't that sweet.
Yeah, man. I'm a believer of two things could be right at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I think that two things could be right here. I think that you could be comfortable and happy at AEW. You could be comfortable being around your friends and your homies and all of that. Mm-hmm. But for two people, well, a group and a wrestler in general, I can't help to think what would happen to them if they were in the Triple H WWE main roster era. Mm. If Karrion Kross debuted the way that he debuted on Friday on SmackDown, imagine the debut that the Undisputed Era would have had.
Yeah, man. That is unfortunately one of the things that, as of right now, we may not know for a minute.
We will never know it. We would never know how the Undisputed Era would debut. If Karrion Kross grabbed Drew McIntyre's head, wing, 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 if that happened, who debuted on NXT beating the shit out of Drew McIntyre? The Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Adam Cole, more specifically.
Yeah.
I can't help to think that Adam Cole, who I said should be a star, a bigger star than what he is, I can't help to think that Adam Cole would have debuted amazingly.
Yeah,
in this Triple H era.
Yeah, same. Hey, and barring injury, of course, but I still lean to this as my favorite. O'Reilly and Strong versus the Usos, man.
I can't help but to think of the matches that we would get with the Undisputed Era in the Triple H era. But we ain't going to get that. Now, he's with his wife. He with his wife and the homies. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm leaving nothing to chance because everybody's an MJF moment away. from just being like, hey, look.
But see, in this case, it's a little bit different though, because MJF ain't been seen, and reportedly ain't nobody had no conversation with Buddy ass. So he definitely might be waiting his 2024 release. And I have a theory, so to speak, on that and the bigger picture a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, I mean, but Undisputed Era for me, getting back together and being on the main roster. One, that would be the one thing that I would want to see in the Triple H era more than anything. But two, I think, man, one organization is ran by creative is now being ran by a Hall of Famer who is, in my eyes, the greatest heel of all time. And the other company is ran by a billionaire fan who lets his employees disrespect him on the clock.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit later because I'm a little bit worried. Now, here's the thing. I think the Undisputed Era, if Karrion Kross debuts the way that he debuts, can't nobody tell me that could have or should have been the Undisputed Era spot. But I also look at Keith Lee. Man, I look at Keith Lee. And I say Keith Lee in the Triple H era is what we all wanted him to be.
Yeah.
A monster. Whether he's a face or he's a heel, he's a monster. In this Triple H era, I can't help but to think that this man will look like a god. I might be wrong. But I can't help but to think that this man would look like the god he's supposed to. Now, all of those guys, to me, in my opinion, are in the mid card of AEW, and they don't belong there. Adam Cole and Jess have turned on the Young Bucks, and Adam Hangman Page came down to save them. So now you're going to see a trios tournament, and more likely than not, the main event, the trios championship match, is going to end up being the Undisputed Era versus the Elite, or the Undisputed Elite versus the Elite, however they're going to word the naming. But Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Hangman Page and the Young Bucks for the Trios Championship. And Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are currently the AEW Tag Team champions. I don't care about that because, as I had told homie in St. Louis, you got barely 1 million people watching you weekly on one program and barely 500,000 people watching you on another one. So you combine that to, let's just say, 1.5 million. That's still more. I mean, that's still less than what Raw and SmackDown's going to give you.
Yeah. On the dud, too.
On a dud night, and to me, because of how they are all Triple H guys, a bigger spot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Question for you before we get to what Ross has said, because I got an answer for that as well. I definitely got an answer for that one. Do you think that all these gentlemen that moved over to AEW really just lack this small thing called patience?
No. See, that's the two things can be right at the same time.
Okay.
Who could have known that Vince McMahon was not going to leave until he died or some bullshit happened? Who would have thought? Yeah. Who would have thought last year that Vince McMahon would be in this situation? Right. That he would have to retire amid sexual assault allegations. Right. Not one soul. Right. So I'm not saying that they should have been patient and waited out, because even Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and others waited things out, and then they weighed things out and said that being with the homies was better than being under Vince McMahon.
Right.
That is totally cool. That is on point, and I don't blame them for making that decision. What I'm saying, however, is you've made the decision. It was right, and hindsight is 20/20. But when you look at, more importantly, a Karrion Kross debut, not a Dakota and Io debut, a Karrion Kross debut, and the way that he debuted, I would be like, damn, I'm happy for Buddy, but god damn, this is what we doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I signed that contract for how long? The patience might be the contract and not necessarily anything else. You probably would have did a 2-year contract just to see how things go for a couple. And Tony Khan was smart, was like, nah, you got to sign for 5 if you want to come. I need you here long term.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. All right, cool. Because I ain't trying to go over that with Vince McMahon. And then you turn around and see Vince McMahon have to retire and Triple H take over and then Karrion Kross debut like that on Friday. If I'm Adam Cole, I am looking at that shit like, god damn.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm saving again. I got an extra guarantee because of this conversation for the end of the show. I don't want to hold it up. But yeah, I think we got something else that we probably will haven't seen or don't think that we're prepared to see in wrestling now. I'm just gonna throw it out there, but staying on topic, Ross, Velveteen Dream coming back. If the white multi-billionaire couldn't get past the allegations in the public, no way is the promising potential black wrestler gonna get off the radar. That would actually be worse, because even though obviously we all love Velveteen Dream, and I do believe everything that Bang said about him a year and a half before it even happened for him was going to happen, and it was fact. The bottom line is, we live in an era where you can't do women a certain way and you gonna get off easy and you gonna get the same amount of payment. And I mean, honestly, even though the WWE is the WWE, the amount of money that gets pumped into it for every single show, pay-per-view, house show, all of that is just not going to they're not letting anybody get in the way of that, especially the black guy playing the character that could be the face of the company, but he's not going to draw Roman Reigns numbers as far as what we see right now. And even John Cena's cosign is invalid right now for that. Like, look, if VKM can't get off, ain't nobody getting off. And that's just what it is.
Look, man, Vince McMahon was paying off women of age, and Velveteen Dream is accused of sending dick pics to a woman that wasn't of age.
Yeah, man.
He was accused of sending it to a girl. Patrick Clark is done out here in these wrestling streets. He can't even get a damn indie booking in his hometown.
Yeah, man. It's rough. It's rough because to your point, Ross, shoot, Velveteen Dream, with him in control of his creative based on what he's doing, he probably would have had AEW starting out the gate pretty hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the one guy they needed. I mean, I know everybody wanted to see The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and all of that, but Cody Velveteen Dream, that's money to me from every aspect. From every aspect.
We ain't even talking about Patrick Clark around here because they ain't over there. Talking about that world title split, man. The rumor is that the world title is going to be split. They're going to bring one of the titles on Raw. The USA Network wants a prime champion on their program. Nice. Roman is not on there enough, so they need the championship over there. That's according to reports. That's according to rumors. Mm-hmm. So, how should they do the Raw World Championship spot, in your opinion?
Man, sparing no words, I believe that one or two things should happen. One is that Roman Reigns shows up and say, hey, I'm still the longest reigning Universal Champion because that's where the ticker started. I just grabbed this along the way and I do what I want. So I'm giving this up. And they can do one or two things in my eyes. They can either have Bobby Lashley just take the fucking belt or we get, even though it's for a different title, Theory Lashley 3, and that's his Money in the Bank cash in. Because it's either that or it's Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins with him still waiting in the wings to cash in. What I don't even know, okay, wait, I don't want to say this because as I think about who's on Raw, it actually could be fire. At first, I was going to say I don't want to see no fucking tournament, but no, because potentially your tournament is Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Riddle, Theory, because he would make 5, and whoever else is about to come up to you know what I'm saying, to be on the roster. And I think and I'm leaving somebody out. Oh, Miz would obviously be in it because he's one of the last ones. So yeah, the tournament would be super dope. Do it real. I mean, I would rather see that at Survivor Series than the brand split bullshit. With the brand war bullshit. I'm sorry, but yeah, those are the options that I think that are in major play, and I think that makes sense. You get everybody that's really in there, but to me, the only 2 options for the WWE Championship is Bobby Lashley or Seth Rollins, and that's only depending on what Cody's health is at the time that they do this.
All right, so here's what Bang would do with the WWE World Championship, because that would be the championship that I would do on Raw. So I'm with you. After Clash at the Castle, so let's just say September 4th or 5th, whatever date that joint is, whatever that Monday is that Roman Reigns. We'll get the Roman Reigns has a big announcement on Raw. Y'all make sure y'all watch Raw. He debuts the show basically saying what you just said. Look, man, I picked this up along the way. I ain't want this belt in the first place. I drop it. Y'all do whatever y'all want to. Bloodline out. Music plays. He walks off and goes to SmackDown again. The tournament would look like this. Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins. Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre defeats Karrion Kross. Seth Rollins defeats Bobby Lashley. Seth Rollins defeats Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins becomes the new world champion on Raw. That's how that would work. And it would be that night. This would not be drawn out. We not waiting till the next pay-per-view or anything like that. There would be a 4-man tournament to decide who is the next world champion, because then it works out for Cody Rhodes in 2 ways. Because he comes back, he wins the Royal Rumble. Oh, should I take on Roman Reigns and defeat Roman Reigns and that legacy and all of that, or do I face the man who hurt me? That means potentially at WrestleMania we could have Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes in the revenge match for the World Championship, and we on one night, and on the other night we could have The Rock versus Roman Reigns for the World Champion, with Roman Reigns getting over, because as I told y'all last week, I don't think Roman Reigns is going to lose that title until after May 27th, 2023.
Yeah, man.
So this ends up working out if they do that. But you do a 4-man tournament on the Raw after Clash of the Castle. That's Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Karrion Kross, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins on September 4th or 5th, whatever that Monday is. That Labor Day weekend, Seth Rollins becomes the world champion. And Theory does not cash in or even think about cashing in until June, July 2023.
Hey, you have explained night 1 and night 2, because nothing in my mind tells me that Cody, when healthy, is not going to be one of the marquee matches, if not the main event of a WrestleMania night. And it's in LA, right? That's the next one?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, man. Hey, Roman Rock in LA, night 2 makes sense.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. you write that down and you just hope that they both healthy and their schedules is clear to make that happen.
Basically. Hey, Rock, man, what you doing on the 2nd of April?
You know what I'm saying?
Got you down. That's it.
And Cody Seth, look, we've already got a WrestleMania match, mid-card match, if you will. Specialty match. Seth is 0-2, but he's the champ going in against Cody. Drip God in LA versus Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. WWE Championship. Yeah, man. Yeah, hey, I'm officially with you. That's WrestleMania. Was it 39?
Yeah. So let me explain it again so y'all can get it clear and understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Clash of the Castle, insurrection, whatever it is.
Right.
But Roman Reigns goes over on Drew McIntyre. The next night on Raw, he drops the belt and say, hey, y'all can have this joint. I ain't wanted in the first place. 4-man tournament, decide who's the champion in one night. Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross, since he's involved in the feud right now. Main event on Raw that night, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins becomes your world champion. He holds that joint, and Roman Reigns never lose that joint. And your 2 main events or your 2 world title matches at WrestleMania is Rock versus Roman, Cody Rhodes versus Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Triple H, I've helped you out. You're welcome.
You know what I'm saying? Hashtag FBC Pod, right, bro.
Like, sign me now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that being said, I have to talk about it. Well, we got to talk about the what we talked about last week, because it's definitely a bang be knowing moment.
Oh yeah.
Told y'all niggas what the crowd was gonna do on Friday when Liv Morgan pops up. I told y'all.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I didn't believe it at first because I was like, but we were there though. We were there. And our section went up the wrong way. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't really expect this. I was like, but hey, y'all didn't think that she was just going win clean, did you?
Man.
Like, if I remember right, I think I had this match by disqualification.
You did.
I think I had something else happening, or Liv just flat out getting her ass beat.
Yeah, no, I believe you had a disqualification joint, but Liv Morgan pops up on Friday Night SmackDown to address the Ronda Rousey tap pin situation.
Yeah,
the crowd booed. Liv Morgan said, I appreciate y'all calling me out on my shit. Wrestler Twitter were upset at the fans for booing Liv Morgan, which to me was dumb as shit.
Yeah,
I'll get into right. I'm gonna get into that in a second. But as I said, Liv Morgan now gives you heel turn vibes because y'all gonna boo her because she tapped out, because y'all love the champ. You tapped out. But Liv Morgan, in a gauntlet match that was held on Friday, all of the women on the SmackDown roster was involved in the match.
Yeah, that's wild too. That's the entire roster.
That is wild. That is wild. But at the same time, it was like, damn, and they all normally don't get a chance to wrestle against each other.
True.
But in the gauntlet match, Shayna Baszler defeated Raquel Rodriguez. She defeated her at the end of the gauntlet. So at Clash of the Castle, Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan. And let me throw out my prediction again, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not with the person that I said it was going to be, because, they suspended Ronda Rousey indefinitely for beating our referee. So that's her way of putting her out, and we'll see you when we need you again. My prediction stays the same, though.
Okay.
Liv Morgan will be a transitional champion.
Oh, yeah.
Shayna Baszler is finally going to get what she deserves, and that is a run with the Women's Championship on a show. So she will become the SmackDown Women's Champion, to the point where Liv Morgan is going to have a slow building heel turn. This heel turn is going to be like a specific wrestler's heel turn when he lost the world championship after getting it and by having really no chance of getting it until his homie retired. She's going to have the Christian slow burn heel turn when he lost the title to Randy Orton and he was like, let me just get one more shot.
Man,
that's going to be Liv Morgan.
Interesting. You know what? We were on the same path, and then I hopped out the car and just ran the other way. Because I do agree with 80%, maybe even 85% of what you're saying, right?
Okay.
But here's my thing. You know, I was upset with Liv because the blueprint of how to handle the "you tapped out" chance was Charlotte Flair, whether you're a face or a heel. You just don't acknowledge it. Or even if you acknowledge it, you be like, but I'm the champ, though. I don't care what you dummies are talking about. I'm the champ. Here's why I don't believe a heel turn for Liv Morgan is happening. Because she's not even prepared to be a strong face.
Damn.
I mean, just keeping it 1,000, you know what I'm saying? Friday night wasn't supposed to happen. And that was her ad lib. Her ad lib was to cuss on TV like she in AEW and say shit. Her default was like, oh, I'm gonna say shit. And then like, I appreciate you calling me on my shit. No, that's not winner talk. That's not champion talk. That's true. Not, you know what I'm saying? She didn't even play the card of like, I thought y'all loved me. Like, I thought you were rocking with me on the way. Like, she literally couldn't think of a pivot in the middle of that moment.
Yeah, she didn't give you the, you know what, I'm going to do better next time.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And she also didn't double down on her promo right before SummerSlam, which was nobody wants this title more than me. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep the title. She's literally...
Which could have been a heel conversation.
Yep. And then if she did that, 1,000% with you. But she literally got flustered. She sat there. And even Caleb Braxton's face went, she fucking this up. she ain't doing what she gotta do. And you know you're doing bad when Sonya Deville has to come out and she gets a pop. The pop that you're supposed to get because she's the most hated woman in wrestling for how she treats black women.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't see nothing good coming from this. I damn near expect Liv to get squashed by Shayna Baszler, and she gonna keep being the heel. I don't know. Like literally, this is, and ladies and gentlemen, this is why sports entertainment matters, especially in this era, because now y'all got a heel going against somebody you just don't like. But
and it's a heel, and that's a heel that's going up against that face is a heel that everybody likes.
And so the Queen of Spades can literally just return. That pop is going through the roof. She squashes Liv. Liv got to figure it out or be future endeavored.
Damn.
Because once she loses, after we see the SmackDown roster, obviously Ronda and Raquel are next. Then there's Lacey Evans. So,
well, I guess there's a report that Lacey Evans ain't had no conversations really about what's really going on, because if you look at it, there was somebody missing.
True. Hey,
and she's a Vince McMahon girl.
Yeah, hey, yeah. I didn't think about that. But dig it though. Technically, it was 5 heels in that match. Aaliyah and Raquel are the only faces.
And Raquel don't need to be no face.
Liv better figure it the fuck out. She better figure it out, because this is what it is. She was expected to be the face champion, but her only allies are Raquel and Aaliyah, because Lacey Evans, Shayna Baszler, Zia Lee, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her wrong, Natty, Charlotte when she get back, all of them are heels.
Well, I told you I think Charlotte's coming back as a face,
which would help against Shayna Baszler.
Yeah,
because they'd be like, oh well, the blonde girl looked better than y'all. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what we'll make that work. And I mean, and obviously, I think. Well, we've watched it. I think in 2019, we watched the crowd turn based on who Charlotte is going against. Yeah. Like sometimes she'll get cheered, but we like to hate her too, though. But Liv got to figure it out, man. Like, we give you props on you increasing your wrestling IQ and having better matches, but your first title defense interview and you do that, you probably should have lost that night. Like, yeah. Shayna probably should have been like, yo, no, get your ass in the ring. We ain't even waiting. We doing this right now. Yeah. And getting that belt right off of you with your broke ass on.
I still think the slow burn heel turn is gonna happen. It's not gonna be like she it's gonna be the slow build, and then she's not gonna have the belt. She's gonna burn all her chances at the belt, and then she's just gonna be like, So I'm with you on that. Speaking of titles, women titles have been announced that they will be returning. The announcement came on Friday Night SmackDown that the women's championships will be a tournament, a tag team tournament that is going to be held to crown new champions. Now, I'm going to use my sources. Okay. Use my sources told me thing yesterday. I know one of the things that we had been hearing is that Sasha Banks and Naomi and stuff, they'll possibly come back and all that. WWE is talking to them. According to my sources, don't be so hopeful that Sasha comes back. Naomi, more likely, but don't be so hopeful that Sasha Banks returns to the WWE. Don't know if that's going to happen or not. Let's check it out and see what happens. I've seen some people say, let this tag team tournament go off, and then the winner has to face Sasha and Naomi. But let's see if Sasha or Naomi too comes back. They were in Chicago yesterday for C2E2. Shouts out to everybody who got their picture taken with Trinity and Mercedes.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Trinity and Mercedes, was out here in Chicago. I started to tweet them like, yo, slide over to the house. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a conversation. But they don't follow me on Twitter. They don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying?
Not yet.
Not yet. But Trinity, Sasha, y'all could have came over. I could have air fried y'all some chicken, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But could have had a conversation. Y'all like video games. No, I got a 4. I ain't got no 5, you know what I'm saying? But y'all could have kicked it. I live in the suburbs. Y'all ain't even have to be around, niggas like that, you know what I'm saying? We could have been up in my patio and shit, just having a conversation about life and stuff. My wife was here, you know what I'm saying? So my kids could have came over and we could have social distanced and all that stuff. But that's beside the point. Women's Tag Team Championships are back. We do have, potential tag teams like, Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. We do have women's tag teams as well in NXT that could be involved. They actually had a women's 4-way tag team match to determine new champions, and Kaden Carter and I forgot what they named her now, but Shorty who flips. The little white small girl who flips. They are the new NXT Tag Team Champions, which I feel like they should have been the NXT Tag Team Champions for a while. Good. Which now means that Toxic Attraction does not have a belt. So as I've been saying, I can see Toxic Attraction now being involved along with Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. and then there's other potential tag teams. Who would you like to see tag up to see, like to get to possibly win these tag team belts?
I know this is going to sound not as sexy, right? But I'm until something better happens with more consistency, I'm gonna lean on Naomi and Tamina.
Hey, we was on the same page.
Winning the tag team titles.
We was on the same page.
And the bloodline just increases like they got everything.
We was on the same page. We was on the same page because I can tell you 2 tag teams right now that came up to mind. Now, I believe that the almost superhero gimmick is done. We don't need that shit no more.
Nah.
So I need Crazy Nikki back. Mm-hmm. And I need her to reunite with her friend. I don't want her friend to be tagging with Asuka. No. I don't want Alexa Bliss and Asuka as a tag team. No. I want Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross back as a tag team. They're former tag team champions. I need them back. So I need those 2 as a tag team. I need Naomi to come back and bring her girl with, and as you said, on some bloodline shit, like, yo, I never lost this belt, and Shorty ain't coming back. Right. But I know who I got, though, who got my back.
Right.
You know who got my back.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes so much sense. And also, though, like, just on some real shit, I would love to see Tamina get a real run with something and at something. And I think the combination of both of their styles, Tamina and Naomi specifically, it would give us a reason to watch the women's tag team division. And it's not like they're the first. You know what I'm saying? They're not the first tag team champions. It's not the there's really no pressure in it. And who better to restore a different feeling and increase the life of the women's tag team champions than the needle mover himself, Roman Reigns, and the rest of the bloodline? Because
I think part of this is putting those tag team belts in the prime spot and not just having them out there. I saw a rumor that said that Vince McMahon had no intention of bringing them belts back, which I said that he had no intention of bringing them joints back. But in the Triple H era, we bringing these joints back.
And with his daughter being the CEO, she was like, "Hey, man, why you fucking up my shit?"
Right. And I have a hope. Okay. You're going to like this hope, Cap.
Okay.
Because one wrestler can't come back because she's pregnant. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to Peyton Royce. She's pregnant.
Oh, nice. Yes, congrats.
Yeah, some congrats to y'all. But you know who I would love to come back? And you know who I want her to tag up with? I want her to tag her. I want them to put her with Doudrop. Billie Kay.
Oh, okay.
I want to see Billie Kay back, resume and all. And I want her to be the tag team partner and voice for Doudrop. Because here's the thing. Triple H had great success with Nia Jax when Nia Jax was in NXT.
Yeah.
You need a monster like her from time to time, and she ain't there for a myriad of reasons. Mm-hmm. But you need somebody that can help Doudrop be the mean and nasty heel she can be. And I think putting her up with Billie Kay, bringing her back, would be hilarious and get that bitch at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, I'm still going to stand by it. If Billie Kay knew she was getting released and that resume was a gimmick until her time was up, it's the best gimmick of this era. I'm that second to nobody. I don't give a fuck what else happens. Because when I started looking at it, I'm like, she really shopping her resume. And then it says she got released, and I'm like, damn, that makes sense. Like, yo, that's hard. Like, that's hard. That's a great idea.
So. Yeah. So, and then we have other wrestlers who we haven't seen in a while, like a Zelina and everything. So, you know,
Cat Moss.
Oh yeah, Matt. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Now you just need better gear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
straight for real. Right. But yeah, I want Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss to get back together. I want Doudrop to be formed with Billie Kay. I think I would like that. Carmella rumored to be hurt. I saw Corey Graves tweet out and delete that he found out on Twitter that his wife got hurt at a house show, but he deleted it. So we'll see how that goes. But I think you have potential tag teams to put together in the women's division that can help stabilize it. But yes, that the champs would be Naomi versus Tamina. And to the point where Naomi and Tamina would not have to wrestle one match. Damn. The women would win a chance. The women will win, and they will be like, we got some news, y'all. And then Naomi music will pop up, and then and she look like she's about to beat somebody ass. She look like Mad Black Woman. I'm about to beat all y'all bitches ass for what y'all did to the Cold Crush and Sasha. And then Tamina, which they all used to be click anyway.
Right. That the first person to congratulate them when they won was Tamina.
And they used what it was like TCB or some shit like that. Yeah, Tamina comes in, and Tamina is back with Naomi, and she finally gets a belt and a run with a belt, Tamina. So, hey, Tamina, go tag with the homies, tag with the family, and go ahead and get those belts.
Yeah, believe it. Hey, it's sidebar. Obviously, Corey think Carmella cheating on him. First Black Champ podcast, man. We appreciate y'all listening so far in the show. It's obvious. He was like, yo, you trying to Matt Hardy me, bitch?
Hey, that'd be wild as hell if that shit don't.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta find out how sure you're injured. Why'd you call me?
Like, oh man, yeah, Team Bad. That's what it was. No, I forgot. You know, it was short lived. Goddamn it, but yeah, Team Bad. Look at me, Team TCB. Oh, I fucked that all up.
I was like, see, but I was like, hey, look,
Team taking care of business or some shit like that. You right, Team Bad. My bad.
Yeah,
my bad. I feel bad at that. But yeah, Team Bad will be your tag team champions. All right. And if Sasha decides to come back, you got your trios, so to speak. All right, man. Speaking, we've been talking a lot about, Triple H era and everything. So, one of the big things I want to throw out there was, according to reports, Triple H wants to add to the roster. He plans on adding to the roster. He's already sent out fillers to people to see if they want to come back or if you want to slide. There's been reports that, during the tryouts that, there were indie wrestlers at that tryout as well. So they're moving away from the Vince McMahon edict that, we're focusing on new talent, people who wasn't wrestlers and try to groom them into wrestlers, and Triple H like, nah, we need some of these indie dudes back. Y'all see how I had it in the black and gold joint. So my question to you is I have a couple of questions. So we're going to start off with this when it comes to Triple H era in the WWE. Who do you think has the potential to become a major star in the Triple H era of the WWE?
Well, this is a great time for my guarantee.
Let's get it.
My official guarantee for this show this week is that unprecedentedly, we are going to see Triple H start buying out contracts to get all the guys that he thinks are stars that he wants back. Oh, wow. I'm going to take a hint and a half here and just say Keith Lee, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly are not getting paid the money that they were getting paid in the WWE. And Triple H is about to get on some motherfucker, can you buy that? And he gonna take them. They coming back. I truly do believe that Triple H had all of his stars, and he knows exactly where they at. This whole tryout shit is a smoke screen or the potential to find somebody else. But I believe for the first time since Vince started buying up territories, we about to literally see buyouts. It's like, yo, I know you got Aleister Black. Oh, I'm sorry, Malachi Black over there till this amount of time. I'm going to pay you this with this on top of that. That guy's coming back with me, and we're doing this. I wanted Hit Row in the first place. We haven't seen them all collectively together since they got on Twitter and said what was going to be the dilly deal. So he's like, look, man, you know what the vibe is now. It's me. It's Trips. Y'all come through, come back, do y'all thing. I believe that the black and gold stars are going to make their triumphant return. Well, the ones that are definitely stars. Keep in mind, I don't have Braun Strowman anywhere in my equation, so don't even bring him up to me. But everybody else that was on that incline, they getting bought out, and they returning to Raw or SmackDown. That's what I got.
So I'm going to pick some people.
Okay.
I'm going to pick some people that I feel like that could be major stars in the Triple H era. I'm not gonna pick anybody that's currently like, top of the card either.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna pick like your Seth Rollins and your Roman Reigns and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're already there.
They're already there. But I see Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
And I see him as the person who has the biggest potential to be a star in Triple H's WWE. Because who Carmelo Hayes worked with and who people have compared him with, Shawn Michaels. Carmelo Hayes is giving you what Hit Row wanted to do. Carmelo Hayes is giving you the matches that y'all want. Carmelo Hayes can talk. He's a handsome young fellow as well. I think out of everybody on the roster, the person who has the most potential to be a star in Triple H's WWE that's not currently a star is Carmelo Hayes, not Bron Breakker.
Okay.
Not any of them other cats in NXT. To me, it's Carmelo Hayes from the male side.
Okay.
From the women's side, I think that, and to your point, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but to your point, if Brit Baker somehow ended up in WWE, she would be somebody that I would also say could be a star in Triple H's WWE. Brit Baker came out the other day in an interview and she talked about the next step that she feels that AEW needs to take is mainstream appearances. Seeing them here, seeing them there. She getting that in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I have reasons to believe that that's in trouble in Jacksonville. She ends up in the WWE. She is the person that's not currently a star in WWE. I believe has the biggest chance of becoming a star underneath Triple H. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Bianca Belair is a movie role away from being out of here. If Will Packer, one more time, if Will Packer were to obtain the rights of a Pam Grier movie like a Sheba or a Coffee or anything like that, the first choice to play that role should be Bianca Belair. And if that happens, she gone. Bianca Belair is not, to me, somebody that you see wrestling in 5 to 10 years. She's just not. Her husband, yeah. Bianca, No, she has the potential to be that big of a star to me. But Brit Baker, just like Charlotte, just like Bayley, just like Becky Lynch, to me is a wrestling lifer. She'd still be young enough to be in Triple H's WWE. And if her husband comes along with her, well, hopefully husband by the time, but her fiance, she's a star.
Yeah, no doubt. You remember in Juice when they were walking and Steele called the event that Q had to go to local, and he told him to kiss his local ass. That's Britt Baker.
Yeah,
she's just trying to get more juice right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. And to her point, she's right. I believe just as constructed, and I'm not talking about matches or anything of that magnitude, but I do believe she is the premier star, the biggest star in AEW right now. She's being misused. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of, like, to her point, that mainstream appeal. You know, you can see a woman like that on Jimmy Fallon or the Today Show. She should be doing like Snickers commercials, or you know, hugging Jake from State Farm or some crazy shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I think all of that is very possible. Shoot, she's a real life dentist. Why does she not like have something with Crest?
Man,
you know what I mean? Like that. There is nothing in my mind that says that she's not the biggest star, but misusing or your talent and not recognizing star power. It's hard to become a star when your CEO, founder, and owner is saying that it's hard to make stars in this era.
Yeah,
hard.
Yeah, and she ended up in the WWE. She's a made woman in WWE to me. So I hopefully that happens, because I do believe that Britt Baker should be a bigger star. And if she wants that mainstream love and appeal, she got to go to Connecticut to get that.
Yeah,
she can't get that at the home of 5-star matches. She got to get that at a home of making you a star. Second question: who do you believe has the potential to lose their push in the WWE in the Triple H era?
Man, I mean, and I'm not even saying it just be bogus, but obviously Liv Morgan. I also think that I kind of feel that Kofi and Woods, man, they better get it together. I don't know what's happening with them, so to speak. I think that leaning more towards the Raw roster, Dominic, unless they do something different with him, and Raw Women's Champion. I mean, shit. Really, this Women's Tag Team Championship better work, because there's a lot of people they feel that they can't, you know what I'm saying, do without. Hey, Judgment Day for sure. They better figure out something to do with that, unfortunately, or that I think they'll just be broken apart and just put in different places. I don't think that they're, what they were about to occupy with Edge ain't there no more, but it just might be a reason just to break them up because Rhea's carrying them now.
Yeah, and heads up, I didn't pick Rhea Ripley because I believe that Rhea Ripley is already a star, and she's the leader of Judgment Day.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
She's woman Seth Rollins to me, right?
Man.
Right.
All right, so I got a couple of names here. One of which is that Ross just named is Omos. But then I thought about it. I think Triple H is a fan of the Hurt Business. I think Triple H is a fan of the Hurt Business. That's why I don't foresee Bobby Lashley losing any steam here. So I think we have potential of things to reform. And if you get a Bobby Lashley and an Omos, and 2 more black people, or 1 more, just 1 more, I think we okay. I think Kofi's good.
Okay.
Because what I saw on Friday and the crowd reaction was the most I've seen since Kofi was the champion. I'm not saying he's going to be included in any title matches or anything like that. I think that I think that they are going to be okay.
Now, question for you real quick, since you threw out New Hurt Business, do you think that they want to test the waters first to see just how much money WWE face champion Bobby Lashley can generate before they do that? Okay.
No. And that's because I believe that the Hurt Business was generating revenue as heels.
No, they were. But I'm saying, do you think that they're higher in the black with face Lashley versus heel Lashley?
Nah, I think Triple H is in the opinion of us.
Okay.
That Bobby Lashley is better as a face than a heel. Matter of fact, I'll bring you to what Bobby Lashley said, and I thought I read something like this. But this is an article from Codaholic.com. Said Bobby Lashley had a conversation with Wrestling Inc. and they said he discussed Triple H's new role with the WWE and the United States champion. Noted that he doesn't hold on to grudges before joking that Hurt Business 2.0 is on the way. He said, I think Triple H is going to do anything that the fans want at this point in time. Hurt Business 2.0 is on his way. I never keep grudges with anyone. Me, MVP had a deal. We had a lot of chemistry together and we won titles together and everything was great. Then we fell apart. But do I have respect for MVP? Absolutely. I'm not going to take away what he did for me in my career. And I know that he has a lot of potential to do something more. So, of course, a lot of that is kayfabe and all that. Them the homies. But by saying that, I truly believe him when he says that the Hurt Business 2.0 is on his way and they just trying to figure out how they're going to do it. I would not be shocked or surprised that the Hurt Business 2.0 will be Bobby Lashley, Omos, Cedric Alexander, and Ali.
Oh, Ali.
I would not be surprised if that is your Hurt Business.
Really?
Right. I also would not be surprised if your Hurt Business involved Carmelo Hayes. He would be the 4th member. It would not shock me or surprise me if it is Ali or if it's a Carmelo Hayes. I think it would be Ali being that 4th person since they're already tagging with each other. But no, I would not be surprised. See, Triple H is a semi-faction guy. And what I mean by semi-faction guy is that he cut his teeth in factions, of course, with DX, Evolution, Evolution 2.0.
He's also a Horseman fanatic.
He's a Horseman fanatic. So I think that Triple H sees that with Hurt Business and saw that with Hurt Business. And from what I know, he was a big supporter of the Hurt Business. So when I see that, that's a possibility. Also, we all know from our history with watching wrestling, there's been many versions of the 4 Horsemen. Many versions of it. So this one, to me, with Omos, has the potential to be the Sid Vicious version of the 4 Horsemen. My low-key, I believe, is the most underrated version of the 4 Horsemen. To some people, it's their favorite. Like, to people our age, it's their favorite version of the 4 Horsemen, while people older, their favorite version of the 4 Horsemen is the original version of the 4 Horsemen. I am a Wrestle War 91 Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Sid Vicious, Barry Windham guy.
Yes, sir.
That's what this one would be. So I would not be shocked or surprised if that would happen. However, to get to the push that could be lost, I'm gonna go out on the limb here and say Riddle. I'm not saying that we are not, and I'm only saying it because of people who could be in front of Riddle.
Okay.
when you look at what I said as far as a possible tag team, when you look at what I said as a possible world title tournament, Karrion Kross, by beating the shit out of Drew McIntyre, just moved ahead of Riddle to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, would I like to see a Riddle versus Kross feud? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we could sort that out.
Yeah.
But I believe that I see him, because of who's in front of him, now move back. Also, I said that this could be the potential when they wrestled on SmackDown. I said this could be a potential WrestleMania main event.
Mm-hmm.
But in Triple H's WWE, I don't know. And we named them once. Theory and Madcap Moss. I don't know where those two fit in Triple H's WWE. Triple H, while he was in charge of NXT, didn't really use Theory like that.
That's true.
He didn't really, and he didn't use Madcap like that either. When Madcap ended up on the main roster, it felt like, shit, you've been here long enough, so let's move you up. I don't know if those two fit in this version of the WWE. Ross, I disagree with you with the maximum male models.
Oh.
That shit, here's why. That shit is the funniest shit in the WWE right now. And that shit is a better version of Billy and Chuck without the gay references. You need that type. If they were singles, get the fuck up out of here. But
Okay.
as a tag team, you need that tag team. You need a Billy and Chuck every once in a while. You need American males every once in a while. You need them. I'm not saying put them at the top of the card. I'm not saying that they should be champions. They won those joints where you get a championship once in a while. Billy and Chuck at one point was like the longest reigning champions for a while and all of that stuff too. But I gotta see. But you say what?
They was actually fire though.
Yeah, no.
They're doing my guy Saudi Seth wrong, man. But go ahead.
No, we have not seen them in the ring. That's the thing here. We're getting teases of them in when it comes to the look that they're getting, which getting them on TV, which makes us hate them, which means that they're doing their job. But I think the question becomes when we see them in the ring. And when we see them in the ring, because I think Saudi Seth can go, and I think Mace can go too. A big ass black dude got some high impact moves. And then you got Eli Drake turn LA Knight, turn, I forgot what his name is right now. But you have him in the picture too. I believe that they are a team that can hover around that mid-card tag team and get you a run every now and then.
And you know what? Let me clarify my disdain. I don't really hate the maximum male models because, hey, Eli Drake is at the head of it, and I love Eli Drake. I also believe that I'm now, to your first question, somebody that I hope becomes a star in this, even though he's not necessarily young talent anymore. Eli Drake, LA Knight, Max Dupree.
Yeah, Max Dupree.
Should be.
That's what Max Dupree.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
say
he's
right.
somebody that I want to
Dupree.
see win.
It's Max Dupree.
Right, exactly. He's Max Dupree, right? If it's anybody that I want to see win during the Triple H era, it's him. Listen, man, they got my man Saudi Seth looking like he's about to go to the Latin Grammys and clean sweep, bro. I'm not with it. Like, I'm just not with it. I'm not doubting this talent at all. I coined Saudi Seth. All right? That's Saudi Mania 1. I fuck with homie. I don't fuck with this.
But to your point, Camp, to what we said earlier and what you've been saying, it's about the wrestler taking the character and killing it.
Yeah.
And to me, I think this has potential to them taking that character and being this generation's Billy and Chuck, this generation's American males, this generation's ambiguous tag team that just whoop your ass.
Mm.
Like I wasn't a fan of it when I first saw it, but you want to know when I really was like, I see what y'all doing here. At SummerSlam,
right.
the water commercial. I was like, all right, we good. I see what y'all doing with this. This is Hathaway, what is love written all over it. This is Hathaway, what's his love. And from time to time, randomly, we have all been like, what is love? Lady, don't hurt me.
Yeah, that's a joint.
That's a joint. This is Ben Stiller. That movie, what's the name of the movie? I forgot the name of the movie. The model joint with him.
Oh,
this is that.
Zoolander.
Yeah, this is Zoolander. This is a Seth Rogen type of film with Will Ferrell in it. This is all of that. So I'm cool with it. I just want to see them in the ring. Okay. I want to see this ring get. Shouts out to Darren. I want to clear up what I said about Theory, because Theory is technically a Triple H guy because he signed them from Evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just don't work out because of who's in front of them. Yeah. I don't think Theory is ready to take the step that Vince McMahon wanted him to take. He's Jack Swagger to me.
Okay.
And this is what I mean by this. I think Jack Swagger's potential was here. But what ended up happening was here. And I also believe that was the case because they moved him up too quick.
Okay.
He's done well. I'm not saying that he has not done well because we hate him. People hate him. Mm-hmm. But what I also saw at SummerSlam is people hate him because of his character. But some people are turned off at who was the person who co-signed him. Mm-hmm. And let's keep it a buck. Vince McMahon co-signs in this way don't always work because one of the big ones was Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre was supposed to be what Theory is now, but then shit didn't work. He got put in some shit he ain't like. And then next thing you know, he went back overseas and he went to the Independents and then he went to Impact and he had to work his way back. I think Theory falls off because you have to scale him back to build him back up because all of the stench also that is on Vince McMahon. You can't give him, and that's why he's not going to cash in until 2023.
Okay.
But I also don't see major star underneath Triple H because Theory is also a low-key big guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see, but the only way to me Theory works long-term is if Theory becomes the next John Cena. I don't think you get the next John Cena in the Triple H WWE. I don't think you get that. I think you get Ric Flair. And I think you let me just say it like this. Triple H is about to turn WWE into WCW the way that he wanted it to be. Because I truly believe, to keep it honest, I truly believe that Triple H loved the WCW. He got the performance center from the power plant, basically. He's brought some of the WCW joints to WWE. War Games, I think, is going to come to Survivor Series. I think Survivor Series is going to turn into War Games.
Way better option.
And I can't wait to what Joe Budden say. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait till Survivor Series ends up being Survivor Series War Games. And we see 5-man teams go up against each other on the main roster. On the main roster. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H be like, yo, y'all can bleed again. But I think Triple H loves WCW and the way that they did things and the way that they highlighted wrestling. That's why he's telling people, oh, say wrestlers and pro wrestling. You can say all that. He liked that. He just didn't like what Eric Bischoff and Jim Crockett in the later years and Jim Herd and all. He just didn't like that. But his favorite wrestler is Ric Flair. He loves the Four Horsemen. He brought in the Great American Bash. He gave us War Games again. let's be real. Triple H is like me. He's a WCW guy. He just watched everything. And he came over here because they gave you the most money.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the styles of a Flair and the Horseman and the Sting are going to be the people that we start seeing more than the glitz and glamour of the Hulk Hogan's and the Macho Mans and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Be ready. I think in about 2 or 3 years, WWE is going to look totally different than what we did, which is going to put somebody out of business.
Yeah, man. And to your point, I think the days of seeing a superstar in that Hogan Cena lane is just gone. Because even Bruno Sammartino wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't exactly that. Like, where you're pushing bright colors and positive messages to small children that they can be anything. It's like, that's lightning in a bottle, and it takes a special type of person to get that over for so long. And even Hogan had the switch. John Cena is the switch, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I do got to believe that if John Cena was 25, 26 years old in 2022, I don't think he has the same career that he just had. I just don't think it works. And because that's just not where the world is. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be believing that they can beat Superman ass this era. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say Batman is a rich nigga with a belt on. You know what I mean? So we just live in a world where superheroes kind of don't exist to the masses because they refuse to let go of so much reality to focus on something other than. So I do agree with you that we're not going to get the next John Cena, even if Theory wanted to be that. Even if he wanted to be that, I just don't think right now, because we're talking from 2022 to essentially 2035.
Yeah.
We're not going to get a John Cena character, especially not with the way Roman Reigns is rocking right now.
And that's my point. And that's part of my point, because I think we're going to see the wrestlers that can go and still be they got to have a superstar look, but they got to go. Yeah. All right. They got to have more charisma than just, I'm swole out here. Yeah. Right. But you still got to be able to go 60 minutes in that ring if need be. So that's why Seth Rollins to me is a hybrid. Matter of fact, Seth Rollins remind me so much of Sting, like after knee surgery. Mm-hmm. That's when I say Sting, he got a Sting in Seth Rollins. Yeah. He has his Hulk Hogan, so to speak, in Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I need to fill out my roster with these workers that can go. Yeah. And people who still got the look and still can be the stars, but still wrestle about 60 minutes and still give you the charisma that I need. I don't need nobody that's just going to give me 4 or 5 moves and that's going to be it. Yeah. I need my big men to be like Taker.
Yeah.
I need that. I don't need you to be slow and prodding, because at the end of the day, Triple H is a wrestler's wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now let me say this before somebody be like, oh, they want to move away from from sports entertainment and become more wrestlers. Yes, that's kind of the case, but even WCW was sports entertainment when Triple H was there. Yeah, Ric Flair is the epitome of sports entertainment. Yeah. Sting is the epitome of sports entertainment. But I think we're going to start seeing more of those type of wrestlers, and that's what those indie wrestlers are. Like Kevin Owens don't look like the typical star, but we saw at SummerSlam. I asked people, did before we watched it, I was texting people like, yo, y'all see this Kevin Owens promo? And I'm like, no, we don't see this Kevin Owens promo. What y'all talking about? Kevin Owens was spotlighted and put over at SummerSlam, and he's a star. Like,
it was damn near a debut vignette that that happened at SummerSlam.
And my other guarantee is I've been saying it for a while, and this was a guarantee before, But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn is going to dethrone the Usos and take those championships. I think the seeds was officially planted on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So when they beat dude ass, Kevin Owens is going to say today, and to see the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, oh my God, that's going to be fire. Probably at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Is when that happens. You know, because we are in August.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I don't think that turns on. Like, it happens and then you get a couple, but then you see them wrestle at WrestleMania. I do expect those 4 men to lock up. I think Montez Ford, and I know we skipped Montez Ford, after his match against Seth Rollins on Monday, I think it's a given now.
Yeah.
Like, we knew that was the case, but after Monday?
Yeah.
Let me say this. Seth Rollins officially got the Rock transition, the Rock trajectory after Monday. I'm not saying he's going to be big as the Rock. I said he got the trajectory.
Oh, Montez.
Yes, because when you saw, matter of fact, let me point you to this. Because I saw it on the doc and I was like, ooh. Did you see the Rock versus Stone Cold rivalries?
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
All right. So I'm not going to tell you everything, even though you know it.
Yeah.
We know it. But I'm not going to tell you how they put the story together as far as the rivalry goes.
Okay.
Because I was kind of upset at it a little bit. It's like, they could have did more. But anyway, they showed Stone Cold Steve Austin berating the Nation of Domination. And he said he wants one of y'all come down here so I can whoop y'all ass. The Rock ran down. The Rock got his ass whooped real quick. They said that was a test.
Oh, wow.
To see what the reaction would be. Sometimes these things happen as it's a test to see what the reaction would be. So it very well could have been D'Lo that ran down there. Very well could have been Kama Mustafa that ran down there.
Right.
It could have been Mark Henry, but it was The Rock. And The Rock came down there, even though he got squashed real quick and Stone Cold ran out. You knew then that that's the person that you was going to eventually put up against Stone Cold. That was before I watched that after I saw Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins look and go do rock, paper, scissors. And Montez Ford said, fuck it, I'm running for that match. That, my friends, is long-term storybooking. That, my friends, is the red herring that the WWE is known to do. And that's why I say that little tidbit right there, Montez Ford is in the Rock trajectory because they basically use the same storyline from Nation of Domination and Stone Cold with Street Profits and Seth Rollins. The only difference is the Nation was heels, Stone Cold was face, and the Street Profits are face and Seth Rollins are heel. Same trajectory. When I saw that, I said, oh, that was a nod to that. I see what y'all doing. And then he had a great match with Seth Rollins in a loss. But we all came after watching that and saying, that's a future WrestleMania match. Yeah,
absolutely, man. I think, if you've been watching wrestling this entire year, some shit just goes without saying. You know what I mean? And Montez Ford being one of the premier stars of the brand is definitely something it's just going to happen. You know what I'm saying? We just pray that the planet's aligned, health is good, everything is where it should be, because he's going to get there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he is there if you really think about it, because, too many times we just rush people to the title match and the build up to that. But this is officially the origin story. Like, fall in love with the origin story. So when he does get to the match, it means that much more. Another thing that I expect in the fleeting, the one thing I do expect in the Triple H era is the lack of the fleeting champion and the fleeting main event. I think Roman Reigns is also a test to that. You said something earlier, And it really made me think, damn, what if Hulk Hogan was Hollywood Hogan in his prime? Well, shit, that's what we're getting with Roman Reigns as the tribal chief.
Bingo.
And, that is what makes great champions and great organizations. I don't think everybody has to hold the belt. I don't think everybody has to win it and hot potato it and go back and forth. What I do believe, honestly, is that you'll see less of the short title ranges to say that we have it or we've done it, or it'll be hot potato between like two really deserving champions, like Cody Montez Ford 3 for the WWE Championship makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Not The Miz winning it for 17 days. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like just to complete the stat sheet. So I do believe that is one thing that we will see during Triple H's run over creative with Stephanie at the helm as co-CEO as well. And I think it's for the better too. Again, man, we need to fall in love with more stories of wrestling. That rivalry's whole layout is literally the entire story, not just I showed up, you knew me from over here, but now I'm in the championship title and now I'm about to win the title, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like you don't even need a doc for that.
Yeah, and so to move on to my last question before we move on to the final topic is NXT. No, we knew that, we all know that Vince McMahon took NXT from Triple H.
Yeah.
And Triple H got sick. He was like, yo, give me that. They gave us NXT 2.0. They changed the look, the feel. They changed everything about the product, so to speak. But now Triple H is in charge of creative and talent relations of the company, which includes NXT. And we know that his homie is in charge of creative at NXT. But do you foresee any changes coming to the NXT brand now that Triple H is now in charge of the company when it comes to creative?
I do, but I'm not quite sure what. Because are we truly in the belief that the color scheme and the music is going to make that big of a difference? But I will say it does have a certain feel to it. You know what I'm saying? It does give me, it kind of gives me WCW Saturday Night vibes, but then also it gives me Monday Nitro at Mall of America vibes. You know what I mean? So it's like, so you know what I'm saying? And is that a bad thing? I don't know. I will say that I do expect changes because I don't believe, well, to frame it better, there will be changes because the head of creative and the head of talent relations is the guy that thrived during the Attitude Era, after the Attitude Era, and then set up the other guys to thrive. Two of them being Randy Orton and Batista.
Right.
So I think, everybody can feel how they want to feel, but Triple H's track record of success is pretty consistent. And we can't forget also that the co-CEO is also probably top 5 women wrestlers of all time, women sports entertainers, and Stephanie McMahon. I think that the one thing that we can't do is underestimate the resume and how, hey, with them being inactive, now all the ideas that they might want to get off, they're going to be given to other people. Right. Hell, I believe Bayley, we didn't say this, and now it got me thinking, I believe Bayley could be in Stephanie McMahon air, and it can truly be a great situation for her. Out of everybody on the roster, I believe that Bayley can be Stephanie McMahon level of attraction, draw, heel, or face. And she could do nothing but benefit from her and Triple H overseeing things moving forward.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. NXT is the biggest question that I have out of all of this. We've talked about stars, we've talked about potential stars, and all of that, but we got to remember that NXT was not only the breeding ground for the next star. Triple H was like, "Yo, this ain't development no more. This is a third brand."
Right.
I think Triple H was short-sighted. I don't know if it was Triple H or Vince's idea as far as the going up against AEW. But as we said on this show, AEW was supposed to win the ratings war. When you look at radio, you know, that book for the first couple of months for the new show, for the new station, always looked good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like, let's go check out this new joint. And then when you have a household name like Chris Jericho, that's the face of it. But then you look at, you know, NXT and you see lesser known names to the casual eye. AEW was supposed to win the ratings war.
Yeah.
I think WWE was just arrogant, just thinking like it's NXT. So NXT is big. Chris Jericho is bigger than NXT now.
Yeah.
Now. Like, there's more people that know Chris Jericho than know NXT. Just like I started off the show with somebody saying that Impact Wrestling was the Impact World title was a prestigious title more than NXT. More people have seen that NXT championship in one night than the Impact championship in 1 year.
Yeah.
All right.
Even if you call Bron Breakker the Steiner brothers' son, that means you know.
That means you know. Scott, even if you say that's Scott Steiner's son, and that's not Scott Steiner's son, that tells you a lot.
Wrong, you still be like, but I know.
Right. Like, much love to Rich Swann, no diss to Rich Swann, but Rich Swann was the Impact champion, and nobody was like, yo, we got to get Rich Swann out here, you know what I'm saying, on TNT tonight. Like, no, Rich Swann lost the belt.
Yeah. There's another guy that can't come back either.
Yeah. But I do foresee by next year, I'm not saying they're going to go back to black and gold. Not saying they're going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's it either.
I don't think that's it either. But I think if it's true that, you know, that I think that it's true that when you see what we're starting to hear, that, you know, that they're looking back at independent wrestlers and all of that stuff. And there's some wrestlers who like, yo, I didn't sign. I could come back. Like, who says Johnny Wrestling want to go to the main roster?
That's true.
Who says
NXT
that?
NXT for life.
Yeah, he said he NXT for life. Who says that he wants to? Who says that he gonna pop up on Cleveland on Raw on Monday? He could very well pop up on NXT on Tuesday or after Bron Breakker wrestles JD McCullough, the former Jordan Devlin. Who says that Johnny Wrestling don't pop up after the match and everybody goes nuts? Right. Like, Johnny Wrestling's back and he's back in NXT. Who's to say that don't happen? That's a very good possibility that happens more than he pops up in Cleveland.
It helps Ciampa, yeah.
It helps Ciampa because he says he's NXT for life. But then I look at some of the wrestlers who are out there and the potential people, and you start to look at the ratings and things of that nature and the look, and now they're on separate days. They're not on the same days too. Yeah, man, I could go over that. I look at some of the wrestlers on the main roster who could benefit, like Mandy Rose benefit, because I know they hoping that Apollo Crews gets that same benefit. But you know, he's caught L since he's got to NXT. But shit, we've already talked about that Toxic Attraction is probably going to be one of those tag teams that's involved in the women's title. So Mandy Rose is Mandy Rose going to be with them or not? Like, there are a lot of people who didn't sign with Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who did not re-sign with Ring of Honor that y'all wanted Triple H to buy and do his own thing with. That might look at the WWE NXT landscape and be like, I know I'm better than Solo Siaka. I know, even though I like him,
Yeah.
like I look at an EC3, like, okay, now I could go flourish.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I'm counting I'm now counting when Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt come back. I'm betting on that. But I'm betting on that on the main roster. So if I could think like that for a main roster, I could look at a EC3. I could look at a Madcap Moss and they be like, yo, go down there. We're going to make you the champion sooner than later.
Because they need Braun Strowman now? They need Braun Strowman?
The WWE?
Yeah.
You need a big guy. Like I get your thinking. We're thinking the same thing. But who's the big monster in the WWE? Who's the big tall monster?
Well, now it can really be Omos.
It can be.
It can be.
It can be, but that remains to be seen because he could be Hurt Business 2.0. Yeah. His ass could be Future Endeavor too.
That's true.
So
that's true. I look at it like this, right? All of 4 of the last 5 WWE or Universal champions beat Braun Strowman ass.
Yeah, I know.
The only one out the mix is Bobby Lashley. So he gonna come back and get his ass whooped by Lashley because Brock beat his ass, Drew beat his ass, Reigns beat his ass.
Now, to be fair, to be fair, I'm going to say what I said earlier and put it to Braun Strowman.
Okay.
Triple H made us forget about Shanky. Triple H made us forget about BDSM Karrion Kross. Yeah. He made us even forget Karrion Kross got the same hair's edge. We just know he beat Drew McIntyre's head in. And there's another name that I'm glad that Darren just thrown out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want Jacob Fatu in the WWE today. Because if he is in there, I don't want this to sound like I'm about to make it sound. Even though the Usos are there. Mm-hmm. Man, when I look at Solo and Jacob, I see the Samoan SWAT team all over again. That's what I see. I'm not saying it's not going to happen because the Usos is there. But Solo Siaka or Jacob Fatu definitely can be in the main roster. Mm-hmm. But Solo Siaka can move up to help his brothers and help them retain the title for a couple of times and then be put up on a roster. And a Jacob Fatu. Imagine the Jacob Fatu is coming to WWE. Or the Jacob Fatu coming to NXT vignette. He won't be Jacob Fatu. He won't even be Fatu.
Yeah.
He would be something else.
Yeah.
But imagine that.
I mean, shit, he can still be some Uso. Shit.
They didn't make Solo Siaka Uso.
Yeah, that's true.
Made him
that's true.
They basically gave him part of his daddy's name.
Yeah.
It was like Siaka. All right, cool. But a Jacob Fatu and some others at MLW, and looking at some of the other people that are unsigned. Look at some of those people, like a Dalton Castle, who I don't think signed with ROH. I think it was a one-night deal, but a Dalton Castle, who is a flamboyant, ambiguous personality that's a former Ring of Honor champion. There's a number of people that where's the Shane Taylor Productions at? Where's the Shane? Like, you have a number of independent wrestlers of all types who Triple H could be looking at and be like, you know what? I like you for NXT. Why? Because I want my NXT back. I don't want all of these developmental people. I don't want all of these people that's trying hard, but we we get there, but we trying, we don't want those people. I want people that could get it on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So I can see some of those people taking a flyer on NXT, which will they could keep the In Living Color look, but we getting after it tonight. All right, the last thing we have on the docket today. Oh, do you think Nick? Ross said, "Do you think Nick Aldis will work in the WWE?" No. I think as a mid-carder, as a low mid-carder, that's it. I think he does not. He's not the independent guy that's going to be like the Kevin Owens or anything like that. I think Nick Aldis is good, and that's also saying I think somebody like a Nick Aldis and the Trevor Murdoch and a lot of those NWA people are good where they at. Because to me, I think Nick Aldis' persona and the way that he looks is so Four Horsemen like, but I don't know if that fits in this WWE. That's what it is. I think NWA should be bigger. So somebody like I think NWA should be where AEW is at, to keep it a buck. Okay. Only because of the history and the legacy of NWA. I think Nick Aldis at AEW is gold.
Okay.
If you motherfuckers love Claudio in AEW, you love Nick Aldis in AEW. And I think Nick Aldis should be a future three-time AEW World Champion. I'd rather see him there than WWE, because he would be lost in the bigger acts that they got right here. Whereas I think Nick Aldis should be an AEW champion. I like him better than Jon Moxley in that spot. He would bring much of sophistication and the elegance to the AEW championship. Other than like, imagine a promo when Nick Aldis be like, "You came here to bleed. I came here to shine.
Let's pause on all this."
Right. There you go. So I see him better for that. Which, to bring it to AEW, I have a concern, Kemp.
Okay.
I do have a concern. And I don't know if you've been seeing some of the news or whatever, but Discovery bought Warner.
Yeah, man.
That's a big merger. That's going to combine two of the biggest media companies in the world. They made an announcement yesterday during their it wasn't their upfronts, but some of their announcements include that they're going to merge HBO Max and Discovery Plus. Discovery Plus is the new streaming service from Discovery that debuted a couple of months ago. HBO Max is my favorite. I wish somebody cut that promo to Mox about bleeding already. Yeah, I cut it already for you. I come to bleed, you come to bleed. I came to shine. But there's a lot of cost cutting that's going on with Discovery. So they have reportedly are going to let go of 70% of the HBO Max workforce. They are suspending the Max originals. So a lot of those people that are being let go are people that were writers and producers and things of that nature, helping with content. Essentially, they're letting go of all of those type of people. They're combining the two networks for 2020 streaming platforms for 2023. They're doing a lot of cost cutting. Batgirl, which was supposed to be released in 2023, will not be released. Like, the movie is done, edited, and everything. Wow. And they're taking a $90 million hit, a $90 million tax hit. So it's going to be a tax write-off. It's never going to see the light of day. They have cut that. There's a couple of other movies that they have not going to see that's not going to see the light of day. LeBron James's version of House Party was on the HBO Max schedule. That has been taken off.
Thank God.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that, LeBron. Did not want to see your version of House Party, fam, with Jacob Lattimore and somebody else. So they killed a lot of movies and content. So the question becomes, all right, what's up with some of the platforms on your Warner brand? Most notably, and people might not know this, but Turner was owned by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers bought them years ago. Remember AOL Warner? Yeah, remember that? And they remember when Brad Siegel was like, we don't need wrestling no more. And they canceled. They cut Eric Bischoff's deal, which potential deal when they were going to sell him WCW, which then enabled WWE to buy them for pennies on the dollar, because all they needed was the content, because they had no TV deal. So basically, the WCW was done. Well, I'm not saying this is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Not saying it's going to happen. But if you are an AEW fan, before I even read something on the internet, when you start hearing what Discovery might do, to the point where they was like, yo, you don't be surprised if you don't see the HBO name, but only on cable. And we know what the HBO name is. Before these articles came out, I was worried, and then the articles came out. I'm going to read this from KSideSeats.com, which comes from the Wrestling Observers Radio's Dave Meltzer, about how the budget cuts are changing the landscape of AEW as a company, and it needs to tries to secure more money for a new TV deal. I'm going to read this right here. If you're an AEW fan, the last 2 days, not good news at all. We knew that Warner Brothers was doing a slashing of the budgets, but it really feels like the prestige programming that TNT had, that's going to be out the window. I just have to say, filling aside from the NBA, that TNT and TBS is going to be another station on cable. It looks like they just want to slash things, and CNN too, for that matter. They're slashing everything. Pause on that. Remember, CNN was supposed to have a streaming platform. And they cut that shit like a week after it came. Like, it was like a week. That shit was gone.
Right. Hey, shit, they couldn't even get Twitter right. So salute to them for doing that.
So David Meltzer says it's probably the worst time to go in there and ask for big raise and rates. It's going to be very interesting. As far as giving it a big increase in rights, they're really going to have to find outside bidders. And then that becomes problematic, because if you go to a weaker station, your numbers aren't going to look as good. TBS is perfect fit for AEW, but at the same time, the key way the company is going to be able to make money is through television rights. And if you want to make it a profitable company, and your parent company is slicing budgets everywhere and in ways that people do not expect, such as stopping movies and production, stopping TV shows and production, I mean, it's bloodletting there. And there's probably still more to come. So the timing of AEW with that deal coming up, which will be at the end of next year, the last 2 days haven't looked good. Damn. Here's the other thing about this. Dynamite is decent in ratings.
Yeah.
The issue is, are you big enough in ratings where your Discovery, you're cutting all of these things and you're saying, hey, we good over here. Are those ratings that good? Dynamite does pretty decent ratings.
Yeah.
But if I'm a person that don't know shit about wrestling, which a lot of these people don't give a damn about wrestling. I know a lot of people see wrestling and be like, everybody loves wrestling. Everybody loves wrestling. I'm going to put this up in a minute. But everybody loves wrestling. Everybody loves wrestling. Everybody loves AEW. USA Network gets about 1.8 to 2 million people watching Raw every week. Fox gets 2.2 million to 2.2 million every week watching SmackDown. If I'm a TV executive, I'm like, yo, why is this show on Friday can't even pull 500,000 people? If I'm a TV executive, I'm probably like, yo, this wrestling show don't do 1 million every day like the other one do. Why do we need to have them there? Especially if we're slicing. I am not predicting the end of AEW. I'm not saying they're going to end. What I'm saying is man, if I'm AEW, I'm looking at Discovery,
right,
and saying, "Yo, we might not be on here long term."
Yeah.
And then I look at the other TV companies. Ain't no Spike, G.
Right. Yeah.
Ain't no TNN that turned into Spike. Do I look at a Vice and say, "Hey, why don't we put that there?" But Vice ain't on every cable box,
right?
Like TNN is.
Yeah.
Where do I go if by chance Discovery say we don't want wrestling?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, before I pass it over to you. Here's the shit that me and you both talked about. And I'll put it in the both of this. There's a lot of people that was looking at the WWE and saying that Vince McMahon about to sell a company.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a reminder, Vince McMahon might not be head of creative. He might not be the CEO no more. He owns the majority of the shares, making him the majority owner of the WWE. With all that's going on, Vince McMahon say, yo, I'm selling the WWE, Apple, Amazon, Disney. These are three companies who've already expressed interest in purchasing the WWE if it ever went on sale. I don't think those same people will look at AEW and be like, hey, let's put AEW on Amazon. Let's put AEW on Apple.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
I hope this does not happen because I think more wrestling, the better. But Impact is not even shown in every. Access TV is not shown everywhere.
Right. And
they're still flourishing. But the money that you put into AEW with Tony Khan and his daddy, when more importantly, his daddy, would his daddy look at AEW and say, hey, no, son, it was fun, but I ain't giving you all this money for this wrestling shit no more.
Well, I think see, something like this is why you don't go into the wrestling business thinking that you're automatically going to compete with Vince McMahon,
right,
and the WWE. And I say that to say this: if the focus was just Dynamite and all those numbers were just Dynamite, I think you have a different conversation of what's going on. You know, when primetime wrestling went to Monday Night Raw, SmackDown wouldn't introduce 2 or 3 months later, or 6 months later, or a year later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? SmackDown was created, and this is maybe a quick lesson just for anybody that just may be unaware. SmackDown was created because Raw was the premier show in all of wrestling. They had ended up winning after the 84 weeks. They won the ratings war, and they actually had 2 blindingly polarizing superstars on one brand. And the thought was, hey, Monday Night Raw is not big enough for Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock to get their shit off at the same time. So
and it's an opportunity to get on network television as opposed to just cable.
Yes. Point number 2, bang, covered it. So that's why we had Raw and SmackDown. But again, the network, The Rock will go on to be a movie star, which helps the network buy. AEW was never in that position. Tony Khan was never in that situation where he could justify his roster looking as it was constructed with the success that they had had before the first network episode of Dynamite aired to then go and do Rampage. He just didn't he didn't have the leverage. He's just living in the moment of, well, Vince got 2 shows. I need 2 shows. And pocket watching will always get you fucked up. Not them, you. You will always get yourself fucked up when you are pocket watching other people. And because look, Moxley and Jericho are nowhere near the stratosphere of Stone Cold Rock. They just don't garner that. But they also not Orton, Cena either.
Yeah.
And currently right now, they're not Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. They're just not. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about this whole wrestling setup, right? And being a draw. This is what it's all about, because those numbers, granted, I've never checked ratings for a show a day in my life, but something is going to tell me that when SmackDown debuted, it wasn't in the 100,000 nothings.
No. It was the highest rated TV show. It was like the highest rated TV show And it was actually a special on UPN. That's the other part. It was a special on UPN. And then they was like, all right, this work. We want this every day. Well, every Thursday.
And how did they kick that show off, Bang?
Oh, it was Triple H versus The Rock, with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee.
Right. So
with Triple H winning the belt, like he got super kicked.
So let's frame this properly. Vince McMahon kicked off his B show with The Rock, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, with The Rock kicking off the show, being the biggest current star in the world, and with the guy that everybody was calling the greatest wrestler of all time in that moment, Shawn Michaels, kicking his friend, kicking dude in the face and getting his friend the championship. That's how he kicked off episode 1. You think that's competing with CM Punk coming out with a microphone saying he gonna wrestle some dude that he thinks deserves a shot, and that's generating revenue and ratings? They're not playing the same game. Because again, you had to live through primetime wrestling to appreciate Raw, to understand why SmackDown took some time to cook. And unfortunately, with this Discovery deal in AEW and the threat that they have, again, nobody on the First Black Champ podcast, or even our listeners and viewers, wants to see AEW fall. But make Dynamite something special first. Like really, really get some moments out of that. Like, do they even have a legit top 10 wrestling moments right now going into year 4?
Well, AEW does, not AEW. Rampage. Yeah, AEW.
No, I'm sorry. That's what I meant overall. I'm sorry. AEW. Does AEW have a top 10 of just wrestling moments?
They don't have top 10 ratings wrestling moments, but I would say Dynamite does have that. Mm-hmm. They tried to do what you said with Rampage when Christian wrestled Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship, and he ended up winning the championship, and that was supposed to be a big moment, but it was a blip, because then after that the ratings was half at it. Now
exactly. But check it out. So to your point with that, and I'm glad you made that point. If that moment kicks off Dynamite, it's gonna hit different,
right? And it's still not gonna be as big as what you would do for the WWE. Now, I'm gonna end this segment because we got to end the show. But I'm gonna end this segment again talking about Brit Baker, excuse me. I'm going to read what she said when it comes to wanting to help AEW get more mainstream success. I'm going to read what she says. I think just being a part of anything that's brand new, there's ups and downs, and it is stressful because you want to be a part of something successful, not something that's a failure. But now that we've gotten past that, it's like this sigh of relief, like, okay, thank God we're doing it. It's working. Now I think what's next for us is, for most people in the world, WWE is the #1 wrestling promotion. You can pick out anybody on the street. They know what WWE is. Not everyone knows what AEW is yet. And I want to get to a point where it is super mainstream and we do more entertainment and mainstream crossovers, so they can see one of our stars and go, oh, that person's a wrestler from AEW, not just who's that person. So I think what's next for us is just growing massively, because we have a successful show. We have a great show. We have leadership. We have great wrestlers. We have a great product. Let's get more eyes on it, because it is so great and we need to have more eyes on it. Brit Baker, you get it.
Yeah.
That's basically what me and Kemp had said on this program since day one.
Yep.
Ain't nothing toppling WWE. But what you can do is gain more mainstream success. So if Brit walks down the street, 5 people know who Brit is, instead of that one wrestling fan and 4 people like, damn, why dude so excited?
Right. Right.
But that's also why I'm fearful that AEW is in trouble because you look at the past and you see what they've done. Let's look at our history. Our history. Not nobody else's, our history in watching wrestling. We grew up like us. You grew up watching WWF Superstars. WCW Saturday Night came aboard in the early 90s. You grew up on WCW Main Event, WCW Pro Wrestling. You grew up on Wrestling Challenge. You grew up on all of these things. And if you had cable, you grew up on Primetime Wrestling. If you're a little bit older than us, you grew up on Tuesday Night Titans.
Yep.
Grew up on all of those things. And we all know what Vince did in the 80s to elevate his wrestlers. All right. So let's move on to that. And for most of the people that listen to this podcast, for most of the people that knows, you go to WCW, WWF, The War, all of those things, right? WCW really only ended because Time Warner said, we're good on wrestling. We don't need that. We're not giving them that TV time. And they told them that we're taking back the TV time. Which effectively ended the program. Let's look at the USA Network, because the USA Network has not always been the home of WWF Raw.
Right.
They moved to TNT, which became Spike TV. But who was also on that network when the WWE decided to jump on? ECW.
Oh,
Thousand Ways to Die too. Yeah,
that's what
ECW was over there. ECW was like, damn, y'all can't have us both on here because they bigger than us.
Right.
And they was like, you know what? You right. Bye.
Bye.
Right. We saw Fox Sports try to do it with TNA back in the day. But they rescinded all of that. We've seen Impact have a couple of TV deals. ROH had a regional TV deal for the most part. You gotta have a TV deal for it to work.
Yeah.
And what better company than Warner? Because you got TBS and TNT, and those was the home of wrestling for years. But this company might not give a shit about wrestling like Brad Siegel and Time Warner. AOL Time Warner didn't give a damn about wrestling. You know who gave a damn about wrestling? Ted Turner. They might not care the way that USA cares or Fox cares or NBC cared when they was doing Saturday Night's Main Event. And that's what worries me when you see all these cutting costs from Discovery. When you cut $90 million from a movie to never be seen, no matter if it's good or not, when you cut that and it's a $90 million loss and you say, well, fuck it.
Right. Yeah.
Your wrestling company,
yeah,
they looking at you.
Yeah. They're like, hey, y'all watch this shit? Your son watch it? Oh, okay.
And just because y'all do 5-star matches, that don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
You need stars. And what Brit Baker just told you, hey, we got a good show. We can wrestle well and everything, but we ain't stars.
Yeah.
Because we are wrestling fanatics. We gonna watch the product. I said this on Clubhouse. I said this on this show. Folks got mad at me, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, because that's what Brit Baker just told you. We can wrestle. We could give you 5-star matches, but the wrestling fans know us.
Right.
We need the casual fan to know who we are, because casuals is the one that's gonna get us over the hump. That's what mainstream success is. Mainstream success ain't me, you, two virgins over there, and some fat dude from Las Cruces, New Mexico that got an AEW belt and cry every time he see Kenny Omega. They ain't talking about us.
Right.
They're talking about, oh man, you know what? I used to watch wrestling back in the day. Oh man, this is a new company. Oh, let's watch it. Oh, I know who that person is. I didn't know they wrestled for AEW.
Right.
Let me start watching this.
Right. And
you need a star.
Yeah. And another way to help build your star is if you killed that second show and use all the promotion and energy into your first show and your pillars, right? Because y'all talk about the pillars. Brit Baker is a pillar in my view. Like, the money that it costs to run 15 minutes of Rampage should be used on just her. And you would accomplish both of your goals at the same time. Again, you don't just like, even in Monopoly, you can't buy every property you land on the first trip around.
Hell no.
Like, it may take 7 trips, but you build slow. I think much like the fans, because Tony Khan's a wrestling fan at the end of the day, right? He's a diehard wrestling fan at the end of the day, just like many of us, or all of us. I don't know if there's casual fans tuning into us or not, but the thing is, you still got to build slow. Like, even on the game, it tell you to build slow. Hey, you win the gym wrestling in your jeans and the t-shirt, and you got to build up to that. You got to win some matches. You got to save your money. You still in the raggedy van doing your due. Having $1 billion doesn't mean that you're just going to throw $100 million and you just gonna recoup and everybody gonna fuck with it and you gonna keep moving forward. That's just not how it goes. But yeah, she's spot on. She obviously understands that she has great knowledge of what needs to be done. But now it's on to me, the founder, CEO, billionaire, investor, and family, to now do right by the stars that he has. And I know this might sound abrupt, but I'm trying to think about tomorrow and not today. You kill Rampage, you put all that money into Dynamite and the people that are holding it down, and you also prepare to do, I would say, maybe an on-demand, maybe even taking the page of the NWA Powers book, going straight to YouTube with that Rampage hour of shit.
They already do it with AEW Dark.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think there is a way to, if they scale down on the spending and realize that they're not in competition with anybody right now, you're just in the wrestling business amongst everyone else, I think they would be in for much greater success, and Discovery might keep them around.
Well, I'll end it by saying this. I ain't saying that nothing you saying is wrong. In fact, they already do it with AEW Dark and another AEW Dark joint on YouTube. What I would say is this: they need more content to get to know your wrestlers. Mm-hmm. And getting to know your wrestlers content is not just look at them wrestle.
Right.
You need to know who these people are and develop content around who they are. Mm-hmm. The other part of it is this. You could do all that 5-star wrestling shit all you want to. That ain't going to move the needle in ratings. Nah. You need a star. Mm-hmm. And I don't think at this point you have a mainstream star young enough for people to care. That might sound like ageism and all of that stuff, but we all know that Chris Jericho was at the tail end of his career. Yeah. You need a star. Mm-hmm. You know who that star is, Camp? Ricky Starks.
Yeah, it is.
Ricky Starks is the star you need to get in front of the camera and talk to people. You need Ricky Starks not just on your TV screen. You need Ricky Starks on the news. When you're coming to the town, he needs to be on your morning news show. You need to send Ricky Starks to it ain't Regis and Kelly no more. Who is it now? Is Ryan Seacrest and Kelly. Yeah, you need to have him there. You need to have Ricky Starks on a red carpet at a movie. You need to have Ricky Starks in a movie. You need to pimp Ricky Starks out to all of these events and make sure that he is seen. The man looks good. He talks good. He knows the part. He got it all. And he can wrestle too. Yeah, you need a star. You don't need 5-star matches. You don't need people bleeding all the damn time. You need a star. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying anything else, but you need a star. Yeah, and I don't care what anybody says, that man got mainstream star potential written all over him. I'm not talking about anything else, but if I look at the TV, my wife gonna say, oh, he look good. When I look at the TV, I say, oh, he can wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
When my son looks at the TV, he go, oh man, I mess with Ricky Starks.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. When that girl who looks at the shade room, see who was at this red carpet, they say, oh, I like the little El DeBarge looking wrestler. All of those things.
Mm-hmm.
That's him.
Yeah, it is.
It's not about the wrestling fan that hears the Ric Flair type promos and all of that. It's not about that.
Mm-mm.
It's about, does this man translate to the mainstream media and casual fan? And he does from a male side, and Brit does from a woman's side.
Yeah.
I would throw those two at every goddamn event. They'd be at the damn ESPYs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all
facts.
of those things. That's what they need. They need stars. You got enough wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
We need Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Macho Man, but we also need Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah, and perfect world, right? Let's just say, because even homie counts, right? They're stars in my view. The people that should be the front lines pushing the company. Again, Ricky Starks, Brit Baker. If they've revamped him some more, Hook, because of his look, he looks like 91 Marky Mark from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, and MJF would be the fourth guy. But I don't think he works there anymore. But that is it. That is your front line of stardom. You know, those are the people that have the potential to bring in your casual fans just off their look alone. And that's what they need to focus more on. Again, man, wrestling companies do work, but for what Tony Khan is trying to achieve with a network TV deal, it ain't going to be enough. So they need to find a proper balance, and they need to start using their superstars the right way before it is inevitably too late and they become stars on the star producing factory known as the WWE, now being owned and operated by the greatest heel couple of all fucking time, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
All right, man, we've been talking long enough, so we gave y'all damn teas. We gave y'all, this is a great show.
Yeah, man.
Definitely informative. Definitely talking about the future of wrestling and the lack thereof of possibly what might happen due to budget cuts with an organization, with a parent company. So again, I hope that does not happen to AEW, but hey, we've seen it happen before. So let's see what happens. And Brit Baker, I'm with you. End is off, Camp.
Yes, man. Hey, listen, we thank you once again for tuning into the show. Long episode today, but a lot of content that you can use and abuse if you like. I don't know, but we appreciate you no matter what, man. Your likes, comments, shares. You know what I'm saying? Likes, comments, shares, conversation, tagging, rumor, innuendo, just questions. We appreciate all of it. Comments as well. Even during the live show, appreciate every single one of you for tuning in and rocking out with us this entire morning into the afternoon. Obviously, we could do the show without you, but you all and your participation makes it that much greater. And understand that if you ever want to talk about wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Champ. Bang. We are out.